For the similar reason, it is easier to push pointed nail into a wooden plank than the blunt edged nail. The pointed nail reduces the surface for the force acted upon it. For the same reason, the foundation of the walls of a building is made wider than the wall to be erected on them. The liquid exerts pressure on the walls of a container. Gases also exert pressure on the walls of their containers. Atmosphere. The envelope of air all around us is known as atmosphere. The atmospheric air extends up to many kilometers above the surface of the earth. Atmospheric pressure. The pressure exerted by atmospheric air is called as atmospheric pressure. This is the force of gravity on air in a column over a unit area. For example, the area of head of a boy is 10 cm by 10 cm. Then the force due to air column of the height of the atmosphere and area 10 by 10 centimeter is as large as 100 kg or 1000 Newton. This force of gravity does not crush us because the pressure inside our bodies is also equal to the atmospheric pressure as it balances the pressure outside. Effects of force. There are three effects of force. It changes or tries to change the direction. It changes or tries to change the speed. It changes or tries to change the shape. At least two objects must interact for a force to come into play. Forces applied on an object in the same direction are added to one another. If the two forces act in the opposite direction on an object, the net force acting on it is in the difference between the two forces. If two equal forces acting in opposite direction, the net force is zero. Force of friction. The force of friction is always opposite to the direction of motion. Electrostatic force. The force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body is called as electrostatic force. Force of gravity. The objects fall towards the earth because it pulls them. This force is called as force of gravity or simply gravity. Question answers. Give two examples each of situations in which you push or pull to change the state of motion of objects. Answer. We push a bicycle to move it. We pull the table to change its position. Question. Give two examples of situations in which applied force causes a change in the shape of the object. Answer. When we press the foam, its shape is changed. When we stretch the rubber band, its shape is changed. Fill in the blanks. To draw water from a well, we have to dash at the rope. Answer is apply force. A charged body dash an uncharged body towards it. The answer is the charged body attracts an uncharged body towards it. To move a loaded trolley, we have to dash it. The answer is to move a loaded trolley, we have to push it. The north pole of a magnet dash the north pole of another magnet. The answer is the north pole of a magnet repels the north pole of another magnet. Question. An archer stretches her bow while taking aim at the target. She then releases the arrow, which begins to move towards the target. Based on this information, fill up the gaps in the following statements using the following terms. To stretch the bow, the archer applies a force that causes a change in its shape. The force applied by the archer to stretch the bow is an example of muscular force. The type of force responsible for a change in the state of motion of the arrow is an example of contact force. While the arrow moves towards its target, the forces acting on it are due to dash and that due to dash of air. The answer is while the arrow moves towards its target, the forces acting on it are due to gravity and due to friction of air. Question. In the following situations, identify the agent exerting the force and the object on which it acts. State the effect of the force in each case. A. Squeezing a piece of lemon between fingers to extract its juice. Answer. The fingers are the agents, lemon is an object. The effect of force is the lemon juice being expelled by squeezing. B. Taking out paste from a toothpaste tube. Answer. The hand is the agent, toothpaste tube is object, and coming out of the paste from the toothpaste tube is the effect of force. C. A load suspended from a spring while its other end is on a hook fixed to a wall. Answer. Suspended load is agent, spring is the object. The effect of force can be seen in the form of elongation of spring on suspension of load. D. An athlete making a high jump to clear the bar at a certain height. Answer. Athlete is the agent, bar is the object. The force can be seen in the form of jump. Question. A blacksmith hammers a hot piece of iron while making a tool. How does the force due to hammering affect the piece of iron? Answer. The force due to hammering causes the change in shape of iron and iron can be molded in the shape of the required tool. Question. An inflated balloon was pressed against a wall after it has been rubbed with a piece of synthetic cloth. It was found that the balloon sticks to the wall. What force might be responsible for the attraction between the balloon and the wall? Answer. Electrostatic force. Question. Name the forces acting on a plastic bucket containing water held above ground level in your hand. Discuss why the forces acting on the bucket do not bring a change in its state of motion. Answer. Muscular and gravitational forces act on plastic bucket. The force acting on the bucket do not bring a change in state of motion because they are acting in opposite direction with equal magnitude. Therefore, the net force on bucket remains zero. A rocket has been A rocket has been fired upwards to launch a satellite in its orbit. Name the two forces acting on the rocket immediately after leaving the launching pad. Answer. Gravitational force and force of friction. Question. When we press the bulb of a dropper with its nozzle kept in water, air in the dropper is seen to escape in the form of bubbles. Once we release the pressure on the bulb, water gets filled in dropper. The rise of water in the dropper is due to pressure of water or gravity of the earth or shape of the rubber bulb or atmospheric pressure. The answer is atmospheric pressure. Question. How can we decide whether an object is moving faster than the other? Answer. We can decide whether an object is moving faster than the other by their speed. Question. What is the distance moved by an object in unit time called? The distance moved by an object in unit time is called as speed. Question. How can we change the speed and the direction of a moving body? Answer. We can change the speed and direction of a moving body by applying force. Question. What is force? Answer. A push or pull on an object is called as force. Question. What is the requirement for a force to come into play? Answer. Interaction between two objects is required for a force to come into play. Question: what is the resultant force when two forces act in same direction? Answer: forces applied on an object in the same direction add to one another. Question: what will be the resultant force when two forces act in opposite direction on an object? Answer: when two forces act in opposite direction in an object, then the net force will be the difference between the two forces. Question: what happens in a tug of war when two teams pull equally hard? Answer: when two teams pull equally hard, then the rope does not move in any direction. Question: name the term used to express the strength of force. Answer: magnitude is the term used to express the strength of force. Question: when does the net force become zero? Answer: when two forces acting on an object in opposite direction are equal, then the net force becomes zero. Question: a ball is at rest. Push it gently. Does the ball begin to move? Answer: yes, the ball begins to move. Question: what happens when we push again while the ball is moving? Answer: when we push a moving ball, then the speed increases. Question: place your palm in front of moving ball. Does your palm apply any force on the ball? Answer: yes, our palm applies a force on the ball. Question: what happens to the speed of the ball when you place your palm in front of the moving ball? Answer: the speed of the ball is decreased. Question: what are the two states of motion? Answer: there are two states of motion, the state of rest and state of motion. Question: does the application of force always result in change in the state of motion of an object? Answer: no, it does not always change in the state of motion of an object. Question: what is muscular force? Answer: the force resulting due to the action of muscles is known as muscular force. Question: give two examples of muscular force. Answer: bending of our body and kicking the ball. Question: does the force change the speed of a moving object? Answer: yes, the force can change the speed of moving object. Question: what effect does a force put on the shape of an object? Answer: the force may cause change in shape of the object. Question: is muscular force a type of contact force? Answer: yes, muscular force is a type of contact force. Question: what is force of friction? Answer: the force which acts on all moving objects in opposite direction to the motion of the body is called as force of friction. Question: what kind of force is friction? Answer: force is friction is also a type of contact force. Question: why is force of friction called contact force? Answer: since the force of friction arises due to contact between surfaces of moving body and other surfaces, so it is called a contact force. Question: give two examples of contact forces. Answer: muscular force and force of friction. Question: what are non-contact forces? Answer: the forces acting from a distance without making contact are called as non-contact forces. Question: give an example of non-contact force. Answer: magnetic force is an example of non-contact force. Question: what is magnetic force? Answer: the force exerted by a magnet on any magnetic object is called as magnetic force. Question: what are the interaction of poles of two magnets? Answer: like poles repel each other, unlike poles attract each other. Question: what do you mean by electrostatic force? Answer: the force exerted by a charged body on another charged body or non-charged body is called as electrostatic force. Question: what kind of force is an electrostatic force? Answer: it is a non-contact force. Question: what is gravitational force? Answer: the force by which Earth or any other object attracts objects towards itself is called the gravitational force. Question: is the gravity a property of Earth only? Answer: no, gravity is not property of Earth only. Question: is the gravitational force a contact or non-contact force? Answer: the gravitational force is non-contact force. Question: name the force due to which every object falls on Earth. Answer: every object falls on Earth because of gravitational force. Question: what do you mean by pressure? Answer: the force acting on unit area of a surface is called as pressure. So pressure is equal to force upon area. Question: how can we increase the pressure by exerting same force? Answer: to increase pressure we should exert the same force on a similar area or smaller area. Question: do liquids and gases also exert pressure? Answer: yes, liquids and gases also exert pressure. Question: what is the site of pressure exerted by a liquid on the container? Answer: a liquid exerts pressure on the walls of the container. Question: do gases also exert pressure on the walls of container? Answer: yes, gases also exert pressure on the walls of the container. Question: what is atmosphere? Answer: the envelope of air around us is called as atmosphere. Question: what is atmospheric pressure? Answer: the pressure exerted by the air is known as atmospheric pressure. Question: can you separate two hemispheres if all the air is sucked out from them? Answer: there is no air inside the two hemispheres, so only outer surface is in contact with the atmospheric pressure. This is because we cannot separate them. Question: give an example of pushing. Answer: pushing of a table is an example of pushing. Question: what is the example of pulling? Answer: pulling of a chair is an example of pulling. Question: in which situation the net force becomes zero? Answer: when two equal forces act in opposite direction, the net force becomes zero. Question: what is the unit of force? Answer: Newton is the unit of force.